Hello everyone, this is Lisa here from Loomcraft. Today I am going to be sharing with you my new tutorial for this Sailor Moon doll. Sailor Moon was one of my favourite cartoons when I was a little girl, and I was inspired to make this doll a few months ago. I saw another creator's version of the doll. I will put the link to her name in the descriptions because at this moment my mind's gone blank and I can't remember the lady's name, but it was a wonderful tutorial, a great doll, but I wanted to give it a little twist of my own, make it not so much simpler but just a bit smaller. Her doll was a lot larger than this one, and I just wanted to make one that was a bit smaller and more petite, and you know, just a little bit different, my own play on it basically. And this is what I've come up with. I hope you like it and that you can follow along this tutorial a lot easier than you did my last one. It was my first tutorial. I apologise, I didn't quite realise when I was filming that the camera was going to come out with the screen vertical rather than horizontal, and I wasn't aware how quiet I was actually being. I had my two youngest children asleep in the room above me, so I was very conscious of them and not wanting to be too loud and keeping them awake. And secondly, I was quite nervous because it was the first tutorial that I'd ever done and I wanted to do it justice and do a good job. And I did make a few mistakes, but I'm really grateful for all the feedback that everyone gave me and the likes and just all the comments that I received. In particular, I'm a big fan of Izzzalicious designs. Hello Kate, I love Kate's loom dolls, all her figures. Link to her channel is in the description below. Definitely check her channel out. She does some amazing loom dolls and she inspired me to start making my own channel. Basically, I figured why not give it a go, and there were so many different ideas I've got in my head for characters that I love from video games and cartoons that I've never ever seen anyone else do. I have obviously seen the one other lady do the Sailor Moon, but I haven't seen any of the other Sailor Scouts, and I am hoping to do more of them later on. So yeah, this is my take on her. Basically, just to let you know, you're going to need all these colour bands, so skin tone, white, blue, red, yellow and orange. Make sure you've got a heap of all of them. In particular the yellow, you're going to need a lot of yellow bands, at least 50, so make sure you've got plenty of those, just because of the plaits, they take a lot of them. Yeah, obviously red for the boots, you don't need as many, but a decent amount, and obviously there's the bow and the bits on her gloves. Blue for the dress and the extension of a dress, and white just for a top and the tips of her gloves, and that's it really. So yeah, we'll get on and start the tutorial. So we're going to start off with the skirt trims. I learned how to do these by TutorialsbyA. I've put a link to her YouTube channel in the description if you want to go and check out her videos. She does some amazing dolls. We're going to be using double bands, unless I say otherwise. Always double bands. So we start off at the top with the skirt trims and we put 2 double blue bands here. Doesn't matter where really, it just depends on the length of the trims that you're making as to how far up the loom board that you should start. Double bands again. Bands again. So we've got 1, 2, 3. I think that's as many as we need. Yes, that is. We just need 3. So then we need 2 bands going across diagonally here. 2 more bands going diagonally across here, and 2 more bands, blue bands, going across here like this. So basically what these will do is there'll be an extension on Sailor Moon's skirt so that they puff out, and it looks a bit more bushy, I suppose. I don't really know what what word to use, but okay, so what we have to do is start at the bottom one, go underneath, pull the first 2 up like this, and then in again, grab the bottom 2 bands, pull them up, and then grab, oops, I think I've got 2 there, try again, there we are, bottom 2 bands and pull them up. So it will look like this when you're finished, okay? So the important thing to remember now is that it's easier to put this extension on if you take it off carefully, because we don't want to lose these loops at all. So basically I'll show you what I mean. So if we take the bottom one off, I'm just going to put my finger in it just to hold it. Whatever you do, don't remove this top one, because the whole thing will come undone and it'll be a disaster and you'll have to start again. I unloop these 2 side ones first and then grab the others, but when you pull one off, just keep hold of these 2 bands that you've removed. We need to make sure they stay sticking out, I suppose is the word. There we are. I'm just going to grab them again because they've come back in. Excuse my hands in the way. So you'll have these 2 bands sticking out, and then just put the others through your hook and lift it up onto your hook. So you'll have something, I'll just move my board, that will look like this with these loops, okay? And these are going to be our skirt extensions for Sailor Moon skirt. So I'm just going to put these now just to hold them until we need them. This will be for the left side of her dress, her skirt. So we're going to put this on this top left pin here, and then we can just turn it out of the way and it just keeps it together nicely so you don't lose it. So basically we've just got to do the exact same thing for the other side. So 2 bands like that. Just make sure they don't get twisted because it makes it harder for you to loom them later if they get muddled up. Another 2 bands, push them down, and another 2 bands, just push them down a bit, and then we just need our cross bands, which this time go into the middle this way. So we're basically doing just what we did on the other side, but these hoops are going across in the other direction so that they can then be linked onto the right hand side of the skirt when we come to do Sailor's skirt. So just like that, and then we loom up again, up again, oops, and the bottom 2, and loom them up again. And it's the same process again, just carefully. I'll just tend to, whoops, hold on to those 2 at first. Just, whoops, as you're pulling it up and off, just keep these bands over. I'm going to pull this up. Actually, it might be easier to take it off this outside peg first before you take the side one off. Okay, and then you've got exactly the same thing, only the loops are on the opposite side. So again, I'm going to just transfer this onto top right corner peg, just like we did with the left one. Just swizzle it out of the way, and then you've got it for later when we come to use them. They're easier to get hold of. Okay, so now we need to do the main body, but there's lots of little parts to Sailor Moon that we have to attach to her that we're going to need to make as well. So I'm going to show you how to make all the little parts first, and then we'll go on to make the body. So I'm just going to move my loom out of the way because we don't actually need it. Oh, I tell a lie, excuse me. We do, just for one part, which is just to make these little bits here, which are Sailor's hair buns. Okay, and these are the only thing that we will use the loom board for to make. Other than that, everything else is just done by hand. And then we'll go on to the body, which we'll do on the board after. So to make those, you can do this anywhere on the board again. Make sure that I've got some other crocheting hooks, but you know, a pen or a pencil, or you know, something like this that you can just use as a holding hook, because we're going to have lots of little pieces and it is easier if you can put them on something to keep them safe and stop them from all unravelling as you're making everything. So make sure you've got something like this to one side ready for when you need it. So to make these, it took me a couple of attempts to find out a good way to make these buns. They were the most annoying part of her actually to make, and we needed them to be small and tight, so that they looked right and they didn't look too big or bulky on her head or made her head too heavy. So the way that I've found best to do this is to get single yellow bands, but we're going to stretch them and then bring them round on themselves, so they're basically double bands, doubled up on themselves bands. So the first band, just put anywhere on the board that you like, just leave yourself a couple to work down from, but just put it on the peg like this and push it down to the bottom, and then we get another one, just stretch it, figure 8, and then bring it back on itself like that, and that's going to go down on the next peg underneath, and then the same again, stretch it, figure 8, bring it back on itself, and this one this time needs to go across from this peg to this peg here. Okay, just push that down again, and another yellow band, stretch it, figure 8, pull it back on itself, and we're going to put it going from this peg to this peg, so it looks like that. And then the last one, we do the same again, stretch, figure 8, and it goes across here, so from this peg to this peg. So you'll end up with something that looks like a kite shape, but with this little bit sticking up here. Okay, it's really important to put the bands on in the order that I've just told you, for when it comes for us to loom them later on. It won't work if you don't put them in this order. There may be another combination where you'll be able to loom them, but this is the one where I find it easiest to do it. We just need to put obviously a cap band so that this all doesn't come loose when we take it off, which needs to go on this bottom peg. So I just put it around the bottom and keep, oops, tricky. This is very fiddly, by the way, and quite tough to do, so don't worry if it takes you a few attempts, because sometimes it does me. That's twice I've twisted it. Ideally I'd say maybe 4 twists around this peg, so that's going to hold everything together. Now there's going to be a lot of strain here with these bands because they're doubled up, so please take your time, don't rush, and if you need to pause the video to do it a bit slower than what I might be doing it, please do that, because as I said, it's a lot of strain and bands can snap quite easily. It's happened to me quite a lot. So the first thing we need to do is loom these bands. So we need to go under our cap band, grab these two. This is fiddly, so please take your time. and they need to come up. You just have to watch that cap band because the cap band sometimes tries to pull off with it. Okay, and then we're going to bring it up onto here like this. And that's such a, it's very, very tight, so please take your time with this bit. And then we're going to take this one, we go under and grab these two bands here, hold them very carefully because they're very, very tight, up here, and then these bottom two here, we need to take these up like that. Now I want to loom these two across this way, whoops, and then finally right down and grab these last two bands at the bottom and bring these up just like that. Okay, so that's basically what it will look like by the end. Now these two bands are important not to remove till the end. What I would even suggest is to put your holding hook through them now so that there's no chance of you losing it. So slowly work from the bottom. They're very tight, so do take your time. Pull the bottom ones off, then these two, and just slowly work them off of the loom one at a time, and they'll come together just like this. My hook stuck, and then you can get them off, and you will end up with a little hair bun that looks just like this. And that's basically what you're looking for. So if you need to know how to do that again, please rewind the video, because I'm not going to do it twice, because this is a really complex doll. There's lots of parts, and just to keep the time down, I'm only going to show you how to make each piece once, because I've got some I've made already. So just rewind the video if you need to and make another one of these so you've got two hair buns. Okay, now once you've got your two hair buns, the next piece that we're going to make, now we don't need the loom board anymore, we're just going to need a hook. And the next piece that we're going to make are her plaits, because Sailor Moon's got very long plaits in her hair, as we all know. So these are very simple to make, don't take much, well, they take a bit of time, but once you get into the pattern they don't take much time at all to do. Now I've made mine, I'm trying to remember how many I've made it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 double bands long. You can make them as long as you like if you want to make them longer. The longer they look, the more fun it looks, I suppose. But I didn't want it to be too long and look too silly. So yeah, 20 bands, 20 double band, lots of double bands. So that's going to be 40 yellow bands per plait. You need 2 plaits, so that's 80 yellow bands, plus your start band as well. So that's 82 roughly that you need for this. I'm going to show you how to make one, and then you can rewind the video and make another, so you've got 2. So we start off with our hook, yellow band single, round your loom round your hook, sorry, 3 times, so it's like this. Then you get double yellow bands, hold them on the hook like that, and then lift this one over the top of it, and then you grab the end again, so it looks like that. Okay, so then you take another 2 bands, so this will be our, we don't count the band we started with, this one here is the first one, so this is our second loom. Pull them tight again, lift them all onto it, and then grab the end again. So that's 2, and we need to do this 20 times. So I'll show you a few more times. This is our 3rd one. Like that. Show you one more time. Two bands, pull them tight over the hook, slide them onto the yellow bands that you've just hooked on, and then re-grab them like that. And that's 4. So you just keep doing this process over and over and over again, and the plait will get longer and longer and longer until you'll eventually end up, once you've done it 20 times, something that looks like this. Okay, so you guys need to do that now. You can pause the video or rewind if you need to see how to do it again, until you've got 2 of these for Sailor's hair. Now the next part I'm going to show you how to make are her arms that look a little something like this. It's the same process, exactly the same as what we've done with the hair, only we're using different colours. So we start off with a white band, twist it round 3 times, and I believe we do this 2 times. So we need to do 2 looms. So we pull 2 double bands, 2 white bands, pull them tight, lift this over, just the same as what we did for the hair. So you'll have 1, and then we just do it one more time with 2 more bands. Grab the end back, so just like that, and then this time we're going to take 2 red bands and we loom those on the same over the hook, just like that, and that's for the tips of her very long gloves that she wears on her hands. And then finally we just need to do the fleshy part of her arm. So we take 2 skin tone bands, twist them on, that's 1, that's 2, and that's one of her arms, just like that. It's that easy. Okay, and you just need to make 2 of those, so you can pause the video, rewind if you need to see how to do that again. This is purely just to cut down on time of the video, because there's so many little bits to make, it would be quite a long video. It's going to be long enough. So there's her 2 arms. So once you've got 2 arms, I'll show you how to make her little, well, they're not so little, her legs that will end up looking like this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 looms of double red bands. So we start off with a single red, round the hook twice, 3 times, 2 double red bands, pull them over, and then grab the end again, just like that. And we're going to do that, how many did I say, sorry? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2 more, again. This is loom number 4. Two more bands. Loom number 5. And 2 more bands. Number 6. Okay, so that's the main body of her boot there that she'll be wearing, and then we need 2 white bands. For the tops of her boots, but we do exactly the same process, and then we just need 2 for the tops of her legs in the skin tone. So we do 1, 2 more, 2, and it will look just like that. So you just need to pause the video or rewind, and you can make another one of those so that you'll have 2 boots that will look just like this. Okay, I think we're nearly there with the extra bits. Okay, there's just the bow to go now. She has a bow on her chest, so to do this we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red bands. Just stick them on my finger a little bit, and then you need a yellow band, and where's my orange band gone? Lost my orange band. A red and an orange band. Get the red and the orange, roll them around 3 times so they'll look like this on your band, on your hook, sorry, and then you take all 6 of these bands and just slowly, if you want to do it 2 bits at a time, whatever's easier for you to do to get them on. It isn't easy because there's so many bands. Oh, try again. Okay, I'm nearly there. Hang on, 2 more. There we are. Oh no, they've come back off. Try again. And they're on like this. And then you should be able to just take it off your hook. Hold them, use your hook if you need to, just rearrange them a little bit. Just play around with it a bit, it takes a little bit of fiddling just to get all the bands just right. So you've got something that looks a little like that. You maybe could loom this orange and yellow round the hook another time just to make it a bit tighter. That might work a little better, but if you do fiddle around with the red bits, eventually it will look not too bad for a little bow. And that's that. So we've got 2 pieces of hair, the buns for the top of her head, her arms, her legs, whoops, excuse me, my hair's falling out, and her bow for her chest, and obviously your 2 extension pieces for her skirts. These are all the extra pieces that you'll need, that you're going to have to put onto the main body of the doll. There's no more separate pieces now, so you can put these all onto a holding hook if you like, and then keep them all to one side while we work on the main part of the doll. So for the main body of the doll, we're going to do the head last and add the head on later, the body onto the head later. So we're going to start with the neck. For this you need 3 bands because the neck is a weak point, it can easily break. It's better to have 3 bands and it be stronger so it can support the head. So 3 bands, just like that, and then 2 going to the right and 2 bands going to the left. And just push them down so you've got room for your other bands to go on. Now you need double blue bands, and we need 2 there. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to grab 2 more. 2 in the middle. And 2 on this side, like that. Okay, and then we need to alternate 2 double white bands. So we're going to do 2 rows of double white bands. 1, 2 in the middle, 2 here, and our second row just like that. See what your skin tone at the top, 1 row of blues, 2 row of white, and then so basically this is her top, this part is her top, and then we're going to go on to her skirt. So back to double blue bands again, and we're going to do 3 rows. Whoops. So that's our first row. Here's our second row. And here's our third row. Okay. Oh no, sorry, excuse me, that's our second row. Here's our third row. 1, 2, 3. So you've got 1, 2, 3 rows of blue for her skirt. Right, what do we do now? I'll tell you. We're going to put these pieces for the skirt that we made before. So take your hook, grab all the bands, take it off, come back down to the skirt, and where this white and blue band cross over, you need to put all those bands onto there. Okay, so it'll be like this. Just zoom in a bit. Okay, so the next thing, pull this down a little bit, stretch it out, grab these 2, they go over this peg, whoops, over this peg and onto the middle, and then you grab the next 2, pull it down, they go across the next peg down and across the next middle peg. And then these bottom 2 go over the bottom peg, hold on, across the bottom and across the bottom middle peg too, just like that. My board unsnapped a bit, sorry, just make sure, there we are, it wasn't in properly. Need to really make sure. This is why I always say to use a Rainbow Loom board, because there's so much strain with all these bands. They can so easily break. It's taking a lot of strain now, this board. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out a bit again. So now we need to do exactly the same thing on the other side with our other extension. So just grab all the bands up onto your peg, turn it to the side a little bit. That sometimes helps to make this a bit easier to do on this side, I find. We put all the pegs again where the white and the blue one crosses over onto there. Grab the bottom two and just pull them a little. These two go across the next peg and then onto the middle, so they're going to cross over the extension piece that we did on the other side, and then whoops, the same again, just like that, and then the bottom one goes over the bottom two, just like that. So it will look a little something like that when you're done. Just push them down a little bit, and there we have it. So they're your extension pieces, which will make her dress puff out more. So we'll put her legs on now on the bottom. Grab her legs, one on the right, on the left, sorry, on the left peg, and the other one over to the right hand peg. Fiddly. Just like that. So you've got two legs. I know they look a bit odd right now because they're sticking out at funny angles, but they won't by the end, I promise. It will look right. Okay, so just leave those there, and then we can put her arms on. And just come right up to the top here. So it's these two pegs here that we want to attach the arms on. So we've got whoops, not done that very good. I'm pulling the bands out. This is why you should always have them on a holding hook, ladies and gents, because if not, you come to try and get them on your hook and it's a fiddly job. Right. So there's one arm, it's going on this corner one here. Just like that. And then the same again with the other arm on the opposite side. Sorry, I just find it easier sometimes to turn it horizontally just to do the other side, and that one goes on like that. So you should have your two arms just there like that. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do is put our crossbands on. Now where the skirt is, the extensions act as your crossbands, so you don't need to add any more. So we just need to concentrate on her waist and her chest. So we need to pull her chest in, pull her waist in so it looks like she's got a tinier waist. So to do that, we need to take a band, figure eight it, grab it again so it's looped over, and it goes across these ones here, and because it's doubled over it will pull her waist in. Now we need a white one, figure 8, twist it over again and put it across these two, and the top one we can just use a white band again, and we just do a single one because that's just where her bust is, so we don't need to, we just need to pull this bit in where her waist is, that's all, but this one we can just leave single, and that's it. So now all that's left to do is to loom. So this is a bit of an unusual loom at the bottom, only because of the extension. So as long as you follow exactly as I'm doing, it is pretty complex. So as I say, this is really not an amateur video, this is more for people who are a bit more advanced in looming. This will work out just fine as long as you follow. So if I turn the loom to the side, we've got the leg bands, the extension bands, and then the actual bands that we put on at the start for the skirt. Now it's these two skirt bands that we need to grab. Now where this is different from normal is that you need to go under, through the middle of the leg bands, but you don't go through the extension bands. You grab the skirt bands and pull them over the top of the extension and through the leg, and then loom them up onto the next one. And it's exactly the same on the other side. You've got the leg bands, the extension bands, and the skirt bands. So we go through the leg bands, go down and grab the skirt bands and pull them over the extension bands and through the leg bands, and then loom them up to the next peg, just like that. Okay, if you need to rewind and listen and watch that again, please do. Make sure you get it right, because if you don't, when you come to take it off, it will not work. Everything will come undone at the bottom. It has to be done that way, unless somebody else figures out an easier way to do it, but I haven't. So yeah, I'm going to loom up to the waist on either side first. So we just go through all of the bands now, so it's back to like normal process that you would. Grab the bottom two and loom them up. There's obviously a lot of bands, so just make sure that you go through all of them. Grab this bottom two again, loom them up, push that down a bit because there's a lot of bands on there, to the waist. So that's the one side done, so that's how it should look. And then we need to do the same process on the other side. So we're going to go down, grab the bottom two, loom them up, down, grab the bottom two, loom them up. So you've done the left side and the right side, and then you just need to loom the middle. So we need to go through these extension bands and grab these two and loom them up like that. Through all these bands, grab the bottom two, loom them up. Through all the bands, grab the bottom two and loom them, loom them up. So that's basically how the skirt should look when it's done. Now the next part is just the same process again. We're just going to loom the left side, the right side, and then the middle until we get up to the neck. So I'm going to go through all the bands, grab the bottom two white bands, pull them up just like that, through, grab the bottom two, loom them up. So you're looking for this teardrop effect so that you know that you're looming them right. Underneath, grab the two blues, lift them up, just push that down a bit so that goes over the top of the arm like that. Just there, sorry, just watch the camera. Right, and then same again, grab those bottom 2 white bands, loom them up, bottom 2, loom them up, bottom 2, loom them, oops, got one caught, loom them up, and then the middle, grab the bottom 2 white ones, pull them up, bottom 2 white ones, pull them up, blue ones, pull them up. Now we need to do the shoulder pieces to either side. There's a lot of bands, so sometimes it helps to turn it around to the side. Go through all the bands, grab the 2 pink ones on the bottom, pull them up and loom them across to the middle. Let's push this down a bit, and you do the same thing on the other side. We go down, grab the 2 pink ones, and pull them to the middle, just like that. And then finally, this is the most strenuous one. If you turn it sideways, we need to go down through all those bands, and all you want to do is grab the bottom 3 neck bands and pull them up. I've only got 2 there, I need to grab the 3rd one. There it is. Just like that. So it should look like this when it's done. Just like that. Oops. Okay. Take a holding hook. Put it through the neck bands. Make sure you've got it through all of them. Go down to the bottom and slowly start removing her legs, bottom of her skirt. Slowly work your way up until you've gotten her all off, oops, the board. And you'll have something that looks a little like this. And there's her body. And her legs, obviously, as I said, don't look too wonky anymore, they look alright to me. And her arms, so you can just, she's on the holding hook, you've got her neck bands around there, so you can set her to one side, and obviously you can see the extension pieces have made her skirt boosh out a bit more. I think it looks really pretty and effective. So we can get the board again. Just going to adjust my camera, and we'll now do her head. So we take double yellow bands, I'm going to go across diagonally that way. Make sure my board's down again. And 2 bands on this side and double bands on this side. Okay, so that's like the main body of her hair. Now we need skin tone. I'm going to put 2 here. Whoops. 2 on the next peg down. That centre of them. There we are. Just like that. And on the right, 2 on the left, and then 2 on either side going into the middle. Oops. Just like that. And it looks a bit odd now, but when it comes off it does look right, as you've obviously seen from the doll that I showed you at the beginning. I think it looks quite cute. It's a cute face. Okay, so what we need to do now is add our other extension pieces that we made earlier. So we've got 2 pieces of hair to add, and the 2 hair buns to add. Okay, so we take a plait and put it on left hand side. Make sure you push this right down. I can't get my left and right tonight. Okay, just like that. And then take one of these hair buns that we made. Just going to get mine back on my hook. It really does help if you have these on an extension hook or something. I'm really quite naughty to take them off because it makes it so much harder. Okay, so put your bun over the top of the plait like that. So you've got her pigtail and her bun on the one side, and then I'm just going to turn it this way so I can reach this peg easier. I'm going to put her pigtail there, and I'm going to loom, put this other bun, back on my loom hook. There we are. Just going to turn this back round this way, and I'm going to hook this other bun. Oh, fiddle sticks. It's a bit tricky. These bands are very tight, obviously, and just twist that round, and there's her other bun. So you've got that characteristic Sailor Moon hair buns and plaits on either side of her hair like that. Okay, so then we need to do the crossover bands and obviously her eyes. Now Sailor Moon has blue eyes, so I'm going to do them blue. Take a blue band. Maybe we'll use a lighter blue actually. It might look a bit nicer. We'll use these lighter blue ones. You can use beads as well to do this if you prefer. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do it 5 times to make sure this is really tight. Just push that up your hook and then do the same again with another band. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5. So you've got 2 blue bands like that. Then you need a flash tone band. Pull it and slide these 2 blue ones. Sorry, get this in the camera. Too busy looking at the bands rather than where my hands are on the camera. If you just do it a couple at a time, if it makes it easier sometimes to get them on, it can be a bit fiddly. So you've got the 2 eyes on, and then they just need to go across these 2 here like that. You need to just push that over, fiddly, and then in the middle pull this one up. Oops. So it will look like that, and you've got an eye on either side. Okay, yes, I quite like that. And that's it, that's her face done. So all we need to do now is attach her body on here on this peg. So get the body, metal hook because it's easier to do it with my metal hook. And to put those neck bands across here like this. This is a bit fiddly, sorry. Excuse my bad camera skills here, it's just a bit fiddly. Just get it right and then you can see. So all the neck bands are on the over this bottom peg that we did. And then what you need to do, oh no, hang on, I've missed one. I need to take it off and do it again. Sorry everybody. But we don't want to mistake this close to the end. Make sure you've got all those bands hooked over. Oops. I need to hire a cameraman when I'm doing this. Okay, so just like that. And then just sort of what you need to do is whichever bands on the bottom are at the top, so it's these two, and grab those first. It is a bit fiddly until you get past this next stage. Just turn it that way. So those neck bands don't want to stay on, they're being naughty. Right, so we go across that way and then down through the neck bands. We're going to grab those naughty neck bands, just pull them back out of the way. I will get them. That's it, I've got them. I was grabbing neck bands too. Pull them over to this side like that. And then this one, the last two bands up like that. Okay, so you've loomed. Oh, I just need to twist that round because it's a bit... It's quite fiddly, folks, but there we are. It's just stuck a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the bands loomed to the left, the bottom bands loomed to the right, and then those two up there. So then grab the bottom two, loom them up like that, and then the same on the other side. Grab the bottom two, loom them up like that, and then two yellows at the bottom up here. Try and push those down because there are a lot of bands on here, including those tight ones that we did the bond, so we need to be very, very careful with those. Loom those up, and then grab these two up, and then we just got these two ones. Now these, please take your time to do these ones because, as I said, there's a lot of bands and it could be a disaster. So really just take your time. I'm gonna just see exactly where those two bottom yellow bands are to make sure I get them right. Once you've got them, pull them up carefully. So much tension, this is unbelievable, unbelievably tight. Just jiggle your hook and pull around the bands to loosen it so that you can grab, so that you can get it across. And then the same again. Get the bottom two, and when you have them, pull them up off the hook Oh goodness me. This is the worst part of the whole thing, is doing this. I don't know whether or not I've snapped one of my bands just now doing that. I may have. Let me just get my thinner one. If you've got a spare hook, just twiddle it around just to help ease some of the tension so that you can get those bands round. That's the easiest way to do it. No, I didn't snap a band. Whew, that was lucky. Okay, so it should end up looking like this when you're finished. Okay, sorry about that, that was a bit of a jiggle. It's just the last bit of the loom and you don't want it to go wrong. Now I'm going to take 2 yellow bands, turn the loom sideways, go through all of the bands on this top pin, hook these 2 yellow ones on, pull them tight, and then bring them back, bring them back through the middle, and then grab the other 2 on the end like that. So it's like this, and it's gone through all the bands, and then take the back 2 and lift them over the top and just pull it so it makes like a slip knot, and then that will make sure that all the head doesn't come loose when you take her off. So just slowly work from the bottom of the head, slowly ease off the face. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Those last few bands are so tight. And then just pull the camera up a bit. And just straighten out her face and her body, and then just this safety hook that we made, we can just pull it through the back of her hair somewhere like that so you can't see it, and we've got, oops, there is Sailor Moon. And I've just realised, looking at her, there is another part of her that is missing, and it is her little red parts that are inside her hair buns. So the easiest way to make those, 2, 3, 4 times with a red one, another single red, through like that, reclaim the end. Alright, so you've got it like that. Just take it off, get Sailor, turn around, push your hook carefully through the middle of one of her hair buns, grab the 2 ends of the red one that we've just made, and very carefully pull them back through the middle where you've just come from with the hook. Whoops, I've missed an end. It is fiddly, but just persevere and just pull them back through like so, and you will have a little red bits in her hair buns. Now if you're worried about these coming out, they shouldn't, because the hair buns are very, 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 very tight. But if not, you could maybe just too sure actually. Maybe just tie them off, or on one of the back parts of the bun you could pull it through there just to stop it from coming out even more so. So just like that, and then you just do exactly the same for the other side. So I'll show you again how I've just done that. Single red band, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try it 5 times. Let's make it tighter. It might look a bit neater. Pull them onto a single band. I missed one. Just like that. You've got both ends. Go through the middle of her hair bun. Grab the 2 ends of that red one we've just made and carefully, it is very tricky, just pull the 2 red bits back through the hair bun like so, just like that. Yes, I think it looks better if you do it tighter, but that's the general gist, and you will have something that looks like this. Here is your Sailor Moon doll. So thank you very much for watching. Again, I apologise it took so long for me to get this video out. I've had 3 poorly children on and off for the past month, so I've had my work cut out for me and not really had much time to work out the design and time to record the video and edit it and everything else. But yes, it's finally done, and I really hope that you liked this tutorial. I'm hoping to do more of the Sailor Scouts in the future. I have made Sailor Mercury, which I will probably make next because I know exactly how she's going to look, because I've already designed her. Here she is. This is Sailor Mercury. I don't like her black eyes though. I'm probably going to change her eye colour. Oops, sorry, I'll turn her the other way around. Oh, you know what, I forgot her bow. Oh, what am I like? Okay, sorry about that folks. I bet you were all shouting at the screen. You forgot the bow. Just go through her chest at the top. Pull a yellow band, yellow single band back through. Oops. So it's like halfway on either side, and then position the bow where you want it to go on her chest. Go through that yellow band, push back through the chest again, grab, oops, you just basically need to loop this yellow band around the bow like that, and then pull it back through like that. And should be able to just pull that in a slip knot to tie it off. So there we have it. Sorry. There, yet again, there is Sailor Moon finished with her bow on. And as I was saying, I do want to do Sailor Mercury. I've already worked her out. Here she is. This is my design for Sailor Mercury. It's very similar, just obviously the darker blue colours, and her hair's a little bit different on her head, and obviously the bow's different colour, but yeah, she will be my next Sailor Scout tutorial. And I've not had a go at designing any of the other Sailor Scouts yet, but I will. So if there's a particular favourite scout that you would like to see me do, please do put in the comments below which one you would like to see me do, and I will have a go at designing one and doing a tutorial for that doll. Yes, so please do like and subscribe. That really would be a big help to me and to support my channel. And again, very sorry it took me so long to get this out, but I'll try and be a bit quicker in the future. 2 weeks maximum. I'll try and make sure I don't keep you waiting longer than that. Thank you very much for watching.